Hello! It's been a while, hasn't it? Let's talk salt. Sodium chloride, to be precise, or normal table salt, is an excellent, non-toxic herbicide. i.e. it kills plants. Applied in sufficient quantities, it can actually sterilise the soil. So you don't want to be putting this onto your flower beds or your vegetable beds, but as a path clearer, where you're not going to be growing any edible plants or flowers, we're going to give it a whirl. We're going to try and use the salt to clear the weeds. So we're going to clear all the weeds away first and then salt the earth. It worked for the ancient Romans. Ask the Carthaginians, or whatever they're called. Carthage was salted. Yeah. Along with many Spanish and Portuguese cities. It's a sort of ritual cleansing. Well, it was used for that back in the day, back in ancient times. But we're going to be using it for getting rid of the weeds, or hopefully suppressing the weeds. Many of the guys on our plots have tried this, and it does, and it's certainly worked for them. We're going to be applying the salt directly. We're not going to be using it as a solution. We're going to be applying it directly to the earth where we don't want anything to grow. Alright, we've got to be very careful that you don't put it into your flower beds or your veg beds, because it could cause devastation. You've got to be careful for leaching as well, so we're not going to be putting it too close to the beds. Let's see if it works. Check it out. Enjoy. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to get clear all the weeds up until here, I think today, on this side, and then this section, which is about, well, it's only about a quarter of the plot, but at least it'll be done by then. So that's what the game plan is for today. Sunday morning now. I've only got a couple of hours. Yesterday we cleared these beds, if you remember, and clear all these ones now today. See how we get on. So I'm going to get all the weeds. I'm going to put them all out here in front on the lane, just temporarily, just so I don't have to cart it all up to and fro to the top. There's a tipping point at the top there where we can dip all the weeds, and it turns into compost eventually and soil. But we're going to get all of this filled up with all of these weeds that are on here. Get all the grasses out, get everything out, get all the dent de lion and all of that. And that. It's a jungle, but I'm going to crack on. I'm going to be determined today to get shifted as much as I possibly can of this. Mick's just lent me his wheelbarrow. My wheelbarrow's still at our house, so yeah. Right, this is the top of the plots, in between the two plots. So Lady Farmer's side, that side, my side, that side. I'm going to clear a path down here and clear all of this path to the bottom. I suspect that will be a couple of hours worth of work, to be honest with you, to clear that. No time like the present. Nature in the raw there. So 6 of these have been shifted, of weeds, and the majority of them have been cleared from the path. So I'm going to clip these back as well, these bushes, fruit bushes, just so it's a better, clearer run. But as you can see, the majority of the weeds have been hoofed out from the gaps in the paving stones, etc. I say majority because we're going to be giving them the treatment. He's playing about with it there, the treatment. So all this has been cleared out. All these weeds have been ripped up by the root and taken below ground level. And we're going to salt them. So all this area is going to be salted, as Bradley's doing there. So we'll give it a right good dose. Don't get it into your beds where you're going to be growing your plants, obviously, because it'll kill the plants off that you're trying to grow. But on these paths where we don't want to be planting anything and we don't want any weeds coming up, we're going to give it a good salting. Merry Christmas. On that red flag in front of you. It's like a pink colour. Confused now, aren't you? Just put it there, that one that you stood on, put them on the floor there. Now we're going to run the salt between the cracks. He got a bit carried away up there. He's got through about 14 packs of that salt there. But it's only 15p. This one, this is pink. Can you tell that's different colour? That one?
Yes.
Yeah. Just put them there, lay them flat and go and get 2 more. So, yeah, we're going to be salting all the cracks and crevices. Any dandelions and whatever that you've not been able to pull out fully, just sprinkle loads of salt on them and that should do the trick.
I think I'm still working on that.
Go on then.
They're not all covered up.
Just don't get any in the beds and you'll be right as rain. So we're going to salt everywhere that's not inside the beds. And then we've got this wood chip here that we'll be utilising later. I adjusted that step as well. I might have told you about it before, but I can't remember. So that opens and shuts fine now. So the salt not only will retard all the weed action, it's also going to deter the slugs, isn't it? Because there's one thing slugs don't like, it's salt. He'll tell you that. Eee! So yeah, he's obviously come out of his burrow or wherever he's been and decided he's going to go for a bit of a slop about, bit of a slither, and come a cropper on the old salt. So yeah, I'm just going to see how that goes. We've done it before. In fact, we did this part of the path, I think the last 10, about a month ago, and the weeds are certainly, there were certainly a lot less than they were here. There was probably about a quarter of the weeds that there were in this section. But let's see how that goes on. Bradley's put plenty down. I have been keeping an eye on them. You don't want them in your beds. You don't want to get the salt into your beds because that'll retard the growth altogether. But hopefully, if the washdown doesn't migrate it into the beds, we should be alright. I think we'll be fine. But it's a right pain, obviously, you know. I cleared all this away about a month ago and it was up here today, like it is on there. This bit needs doing. They're closing our road off tomorrow though, so I don't know whether we'll actually be able to get up here tomorrow. But you've just got to keep at it, haven't you? Look at that jungle. Booyaka, booyaka is the sound of the police. Jungle is massive. Right. Cracking on. Doing a bit more around here. So yeah, the lady farmer's been down and she's made a start on her side. Full of horses' tails. Apparently vinegar. We're using the salt on the paths, but apparently vinegar does well with the horse's tails, the mare's tail. Mare's tail, horse's tail. Similar plants, but not quite the same, apparently. One of them flowers and one of them doesn't. I think it's mare's tail that flowers and horse's tail doesn't. Or it's the other way around. But yeah, tons and tons and tons of weeding to do. It's a jungle. Some of the beds on my side are looking alright. Like I said, we've done a bit today. I've done a full day today on here. It's coming up for 5 o'clock now, and I've been on here for 9 hours. Sorry, 8 hours I've been on here. 9 o'clock I come down. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Anyway, let's crack on. Keep at it and keep growing with your head down. I've been good, Mafinda. You've been fantastic, beautiful and fragrant as always. I've not got my tooth in today, so I look like Pablo, the king of the gypsies. But that can't be helped. I'll catch you later, boys and girls. Table salt. That's another batch we've just bought. That was 39p for 750 grams for 39p. So it's probably on a par. What we've spent on here, salt-wise, is about 10 quid. And that's probably on a par with the weed killer. But we don't use any nasties on here. We don't like to use weed killer. We just use salt, which is a chemical. Sodium chloride. I think so. I'll have to check that. Yeah, take care, boys and girls. Keep growing with your heads down. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I've been Guru Mafinda. And remember, we love you all. I'll try and get a bit more frequent. I want to do like sort of 3 uploads a week if I can. But obviously I've been too busy to do it. So yeah, let's see how we go. Right, catch you later, boys and girls. Ta-da.